first one is, what would your dream job be? Funny thing is, I was actually thinking about this the other day when I was taking a walk in town. Because there's a lot of businesses that have shut down. There's just a lot of vacancies in stores. I would love to have my own retro video game store. I think that'd be awesome. You know, there's a decent amount on Long Island, but they thrive these days. You know, even like anything involving like antiques and like kind of like an appraiser type thing would be kind of cool too. But have my own video game store like I ran and stuff would be cool, man. Because just being around all those games, having people bring in stuff to trade, and just having that kind of massive amount of games, I mean, nostalgia would just be endless. You know, that would be really, really cool, actually. I would enjoy that quite a bit. I actually not considered it, but like recently, I was like, man, if I had kept, I mean, I wouldn't have been able to because I get, you know, some of the good portion of the money I get is through selling stuff on eBay, but if that wasn't the case and I was just going to G sales from when I actually started going to garage sales and I saved up all the games I got for like 10 years, would I be able to at least start opening one? Maybe a small one, I don't know, you still need a ton of stuff to do that, but that would definitely be it. Second one is, what do you think of this NHL season? Sorokin actually got a second shutout last night against the Penguins. Finally, they didn't blow a lead against the Penguins this year. The Islanders, that is. It's a weird season. Like, people are trying to put an asterisk on last season. I'd say this season is actually probably more of an asterisk than last. I would say last is a very small asterisk. This one's bigger because it's only 4 divisions and you're only playing the same, I guess, like 7 teams or whatever the whole season. I think it's like a 50-something game season, I believe. So everybody's like, oh, and the Maple Leafs are good regardless, but there's, you know, the Islanders division is actually, I mean, you've got the Bruins now came in and the Sabres, so you exchange the Sabres and the Bruins for the Columbus and the Blue Jackets, so it's kind of the Bruins are better than all Carolina and the Blue Jackets left the division for this season. So I look at it more as, I'd say Boston's better than any of those teams, but Carolina is good. Buffalo is just not good for some reason. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a fan, but they seem to have quite a bit of talent. Maybe they just don't have a good D or goaltending. And Columbus isn't doing that well, and obviously Carolina's good, but you know, that division has Columbus in it. Detroit's in there, and they, you know, it's crazy that Detroit's just so bad these days, these years, because you're used to them being so good. All the Blackhawks are doing better, and they were starting to struggle. But even like the Canadian division, it's like you got Ottawa in there. It's just not good. There's weaker, like some of the divisions are just weaker now. You know, which whatever you still got to do what you got to do. You got to win the games, but it's just weird because you're not playing other teams. It's cool to kind of build some rivalries you might not get moving forward. But it is a weird season. I mean, it's unique, obviously, but and the Predators are in that division too with Detroit, I believe, and they're not doing well. And there's another one in there too. I think that's not like, because it's like weird. Nashville and Chicago are now in that, which would be an Eastern division. And obviously the Canadian division has teams from every division, I think, in it. Normally, or almost every division. So it's a weird season. It's still cool, and I'm following the Islanders. They're doing pretty decent, actually. Wallstrom and Dobson, the 2 Islander, they're pretty much rookies this year. I think they both might have gotten a little bit of time last year, but they're both doing well, which is good. So yeah, it's a weird year for sure. And the third one is, what made you like hockey? I remember playing ice hockey and Blades of Steel on the NES and liking them. And then I went to an Islander game when I was in 4th grade. I believe it was either 88 want to say it was 88. I want to say it was early in the season. It was Islanders versus Devils. And I just became an Islander fan. I just like the flow of hockey. I don't know if anything maybe the hockey video games made me had interest in it, and then I went from there. You only played street hockey with friends growing up. I never played in a league or anything. But that's probably, the reason. Maybe some video games, and I was just brought to a game. I think I went with my cousins. So maybe they just asked if I could go to or something, and I went and enjoyed it too. I remember looking at the clock and being, it's not moving as fast as Blade Steel. So maybe it was 89. I think Blade Steel came out in 88, or maybe it came out in 87. But that's really it. I mean, I'm glad too, because hockey's cool. I like basketball too. I like, and baseball to an extent, and football players are awesome as well. But I like the structure of the format of the hockey and NBA playoffs. I just like the brackets and stuff. You get it in baseball too, but not as much. Although they're adding more teams to baseball now, to playoffs. So I don't know. I always liked it. But yeah, thank you for the questions, Tyson. Okay, so the next person here is a random person. Asks 3 questions as well. The first one are, what are your favorite animated movies? I like a ton of animated movies. The Simpsons movie I really liked, actually. That was funny as hell. It was a real, kind of, what's the word they use? Renaissance almost, because at that point for me, I haven't watched The Simpsons in 3 or 4 years, 5 years. I'm not going to sit here and bash it. I know it's not as funny as it used to be. I mean, after 3,000 seasons, it's not going to be as funny, obviously. For me, seasons 2 to because season 1 was decent, but it was, they're obviously getting the hang of things. They're fleshing out characters and what it's going to be, because then it started to get weird, The Simpsons. So 2 to 15 of the seasons I really enjoyed, but anyway, the movie was like a throwback, and I really liked it. The Transformers movie from the 80s, I think it came out in 86 or 87, was awesome. I love that movie still to this day. It's so good. The Read or Die movie, I've talked about The Read or Die, the TV. It was an anime show. But they actually had a movie on it too, which I saw, which was cool. For sure, they're like Paper Masters. In that one, I don't think that sisters are they're in the show. In that one, it's the person they're looking for in the show is the main person. They control paper and stuff, like book paper and stuff, and they do all types of stuff with it. That was cool. Transformers was cool. G.I. Joe movie was alright, but it was weird compared to the actual TV show, but in the real sci-fi direction. I probably should have did a little more research on that, but I mean, I don't. I can go back in the day and maybe say some of the Disney stuff from back in the day, but I can't remember a lot of that stuff too, or how much I would have liked it. I'm trying to think of any other ones I've seen. I really don't know, so I'd go with those ones. Second question they have is, what open world game would you say is your all-time favorite? I'm going to tell you what, Red Dead Redemption is, could be number 1 at this point. Red Dead Redemption 2, I should say. I really like Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. God, that's such a good game. And Skyrim's awesome as well. The first Red Dead Redemption is awesome. Morrowind is great. I don't know if Knights of the Old Republic's kind of an open world game, but it's different. I wouldn't really put it in the same kind of category, I guess. The Witcher 3, actually, what am I saying? Witcher 3. It's probably between The Witcher 3, Oblivion, and Red Dead Redemption 2. I'd probably still go The Witcher 3, because I just love the Witcher lore and the books and everything too. So I love Geralt's character. I mean, Arthur Morgan's fucking amazing too. Holy shit. I remember when they first showed that and that you weren't using John Marston. You end up using him for a bit, but in the after game stuff. But people were pissed, and then all of a sudden you're like, Arthur Morgan's probably arguably better than John Marston. I mean, such an amazing character. Witcher 3 and Red Dead Redemption 2 for sure. Probably 1 and 2. Oblivion's really awesome too. The amount of time I put into looks amazing. It was such a jump. But yeah, I mean, maybe I'll just go Witcher 3. Just because I have more of the lore around it. I would say that for a realized world, nothing's going to beat Red Dead Redemption 2. The detail is insane in that game. Witcher 3 has great detail. I want to say Witcher 3 is a bigger game. Like, the game map is bigger. Both incredible, though. I do enjoy open world games quite a bit, but those are the ones, right? I'd probably say Witcher 3. Witcher 2 is really good, too. But it's not as open worldy. It's more like you go into sections and hang out for a bit. I think you can go back to other sections, but it's not the same. And their third question is, what bands are you listening to these days? Honestly, I really listen to a lot of random stuff on YouTube, like a lot of video game soundtracks I listen to on YouTube. And I'm talking like 16-bit game soundtracks up into the stuff now. I love that stuff. A lot of Final Fantasy X-2 soundtrack I've been listening to. I've been listening to a bit of 311. Buckethead. I've been listening to a lot of Buckethead, for sure. Helmet. I'm always listening to Helmet here and there as well. Who else? Oh, there's a band that I was listening to. Why am I forgetting who they are? Oh, Arch Enemy. I was listening to some Arch Enemy. I haven't listened to them in a while. They got some really good stuff. That's probably right. Like I said, I listen to just random stuff, so I'll throw YouTube on and throw my headphones in some nights and just listen to a song by like 20 different bands. So I'll be listening to 20 different songs, but I don't know if that's considered listening to them constantly or anything. But I've been listening to a lot of songs from like 311 and stuff from Buckethead, Arch Enemy, Final Fantasy X-2 soundtrack, stuff like that. Helmet. But I'd say, yeah, those are that's, I guess, the bands that I'm listening to at the moment. My listening habits are a lot different than they used to be. I don't listen to as much music. I still listen to it, but I used to listen to a shit ton. But thank you for the questions, random person. Lucas, I guess that's 00. Lucas00 asks, can you tell us the story of your profile picture? God, I'm going to struggle. I didn't bring my water in here, so I might have to grab that. Can you tell us the story of your profile picture? My profile picture is Michael Myers, like this, with his hand around my throat. I don't know if I've ever talked about this before, but I got that picture in 2014. We were up in Salem. We went to Salem in 2014. It was around Halloween. And we went to the cemetery there. And there was someone dressed as Michael Myers in the cemetery just standing there. And people could go up to him and get his picture taken. And like I've talked about my anxiety in the past. I'm like waffling back and forth. I'm like, I really want to go up to him. I went up to him and he did it. And I was like, yes, I actually did it. But I would say, and the thing that was cool is that the guy who played, I think, the original Michael Myers, or maybe the one in the second one, was actually there in Salem that weekend for like some maybe convention or something. So I think it actually might have been the dude, which is even cooler. But that is it. I worked up the courage, so to speak, because of my anxiety to go and get that picture taken. And I'm glad I did. That was really cool. He didn't say anything or anything. He just did the thing, and it was really cool. He was doing it with everybody, but I thought that was really cool. So that's the story behind the profile picture. Thank you, Lucas00, for the question. Okay. Malcolm JT. They say a lot of nice stuff there. They can't stop my vids. It's so relaxing. You can see how much I enjoy making them. I do enjoy making them. Thank you for those kind words. And their question is, what does your partner think about you making ASMR, and does she help come up with new ideas? She doesn't. She likes that I make the videos, she knows I enjoy it. I think at first she was like, it's kind of weird. I mean, myself personally, I took a little while to adjust making the videos. There's such a difference between making those videos and like making my game videos and then making these. It was so surreal at first. I had to adjust to doing it because I'm doing role plays now. This is odd. I think she's come up with ideas or kind of help. Oh, you should do this, you should do that. I'm trying to think of specific examples. trying to think. I feel like she said I should do something. I can't remember what video it was though. But she doesn't really come up with too many ideas, but she has, you know. She's supportive of it for sure. And she popped in the one video recently with Mario 3. We'll do another gameplay of an older game where she's in it as well. But yeah, she's supportive of it. She's supportive of it. You know, she does. Like I said, at first she thought it was a little strange because, you know, I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta do this and I'm doing this today. I played a doctor today. You know, she's like, what? But then, you know, she's like, she enjoys it and stuff. So she was never like, what the hell are you doing or anything like that. She's always been supportive of it, which is really awesome. One of the reasons I love her, but yeah, and ideas. I think she gave me an idea for something. I can't remember. She might have gave me like, I feel like she's giving me like some like I have video in mind, and she gives me some ideas of what to do in the video type stuff. But Malcolm JT, thank you for your question. Next one here is Tara of Games asks, who is your favorite wrestler if you watch WWE? Funny enough, at the Royal Rumble, Christian came back. He's supposed to be on a part-time thing or something, but he hasn't been back since. But I really like Christian. He's one of my. The funny thing is, I liked him because I watch wrestling randomly. Like I'll watch it for a month or 2 months straight, then not. The thing about wrestling is, I'll say I'm fascinated by their like kind of lifestyle, the travel schedule, the behind-the-scenes stuff. Actually, for me, is the most like enjoyable stuff. And obviously, a lot of these guys put on really good matches. But I really like Christian Regal. William Regal, I liked a lot back in the day. I think he's the commissioner of NXT or something, right? But Christian's really good. Back in the day, I liked, you know, like Hogan and stuff. And then you like later on, you're like Hogan's a bozo, you know, in terms of like his character and stuff. Who else was cool back in the day? Undertaker's been around forever. I think he's retired now, right? Or is he gonna come back? Bret Hart was kind of cool. You know, Shawn Michaels, I really liked. I had those big figures. I think they were the. It wasn't LJN, was it? I think it might have been the big rubber figures. Macho Man was really cool. Jesse Ventura was really cool to body. I really like Asuka. And the funny thing is, like, Asuka has her own channel. Like, Xavier Woods has his own channel. I really, like, enjoy that stuff, too. Samoa Joe's really cool. He hasn't wrestled in a bit, I believe. Daniel Bryan, there's a lot of good ones. I mean, Christian, I was like, oh my god, he's actually come back, because I like Christian, but then I started watching their show on WWE Network, him and Edge, which is hilarious. And I listened to their podcast, and I'm like, I really like this guy. He seems like a really cool dude and stuff. And then I started to watch some of his older matches again. I'm like, yeah. So I'm hoping to see him back, because I watched Raw and, like, SmackDown. I'm like, where is he? And then I was like, I stopped watching. So I bounced back and forth, but those are some of the ones. And thank you for your question, Terror of Games. Alright, so next up is Justin Scoot. First question is, they have two questions here. First question is, if you could have lunch with one person who's dead or alive, who would it be? Some of the stuff I'm going to have to do on the fly. I should have looked over these questions. I think I meant to, and I never did, to kind of come up with the answers, so I had them ready. That's an interesting question, though. Christian from WWE would be one, probably. Terrell Davis of the Broncos would be another. Always liked TD. Maybe Kate Winslet, the actress. I had a crush on her back in the day. Dead or alive? I mean, there's some people, good people, dead. Maybe like a Teddy Roosevelt or something for someone who's dead. Who else would be cool? Probably be like an athlete, or maybe like a Sean Bean. Actually, no, Brian Cox. He did the voice. I mean, he's a great actor to begin with. You know, he's been in a bunch of stuff. He was the original Hannibal, actually, in Manhunter, before Anthony Hopkins played him. He's been in a bunch of good he was in LIE actually as well. But he does the voice of Starkweather in Manhunt, and it's so awesome. He's so over the top in such a good way. I would absolutely have dinner with that dude and be like, yo, dude, do the voice, just do it. Be like, he's stacking up the corpses like it's Judgment Day. And just stuff like that. So, sort of the big, like the stuff he was so good. And it wasn't like bad acting, it was just like over the top maniacal, like it was just great. So maybe actually Brian Cox. He was actually in Troy too with Sean Bean. Sean Bean's another one I really like. Robert Carlyle as well, I like from Ravenous. Maybe those guys. I'd have dinner with all three of those dudes. Hudson Lake, who played Callisto on, I'm saying too many people now. Who played Callisto on Xena. There's another one I had a crush on for a while. Yeah, any one of those people for sure. Even maybe some of like the founding fathers as well. Would be interesting, like a Thomas Jefferson. It's just like talk to these people, you know. Their mindset at the time. Actually, Tom Paine, maybe Thomas Paine, actually. So that's the first question. Second one is my absolute least favorite, most disappointing video game. See, this is what I should have done some stuff on. I'm trying to think of games that kind of, like maybe I thought I'd be into. Halo 3, actually, and I liked Halo 3. So I guess it's not technically a least favorite, but it's disappointing in that. To me, the first one's amazing. The second one was good. The third one, I don't know, maybe because I played it too late. I still did enjoy it, but in terms of like Halo, it's my least favorite of all the Halos, and I'm including like 4 and 5 ODST, which I actually really like because it was kind of a different feel. Something about 3, just I don't know. Like graphically, I felt it didn't push the 360 at all. I don't know. I didn't. You know, I wouldn't. You know, I still obviously enjoyed it and played it, but it was disappointing to me, and maybe that's an unpopular opinion. But oh, you know what? That is Silent Hill Homecoming. What am I thinking here? Silent Hill Homecoming. Once again, least favorite. For me to think of my least favorite game, I'd have to like think of like a. It would probably be a game from back in the day that I played, like a Sword of Sodan on the Genesis. It was actually pretty just something like that. It looks so cool in the pictures, and you play it, and it's like stiff controls and just terrible, terrible gameplay. Silent Hill, most disappointing though, scratch Halo 3. Well, I can still add that one too, but Silent Hill Homecoming, once again, by far my least favorite Silent Hill. I'm not gonna count that one on the Vita. That's like a dungeon crawl. That was weird. Silent Hill Homecoming had the look down, but the combat was too much, and the combat in those games sucks. That game was just a disappointment for me because I was like, yes, here we go. New Silent Hill, you know. I'm ready for this. Especially because that was the first one on the new consoles at the time, PS3, 360. Picked it up, I was like playing it, kind of enjoying it, then I would just be like, I can't fucking stand this game, like repeatedly, kind of like Dante's Inferno almost. I was enjoying it, then I couldn't stand it, it was annoying the hell out of me. Eventually I stopped playing it. So disappointing for myself personally, and once again, it's not my least favorite game of all time, because it still had the look down, and it had some good creepy vibes too, but man, it was disappointing for Silent Hill. And the story's not touching like Silent Hill 4 The Room or Silent Hill 2 or anything like that either. Downpour was a nice little bounce back, I thought, although people probably can't stand that game. A lot of survival horror games that were like disappointing, like Resident Evil 6. Like I said, least favorite, it would probably be something like back in the day on the Super Nintendo or the Genesis. Like Sword of Sodan. God, I had that game. I'm trying to think of some other ones back then. Super Nintendo. I liked a lot of Super Nintendo. It'd probably be like something like Sword of Sodan. I don't know why that's coming to my head. I remember playing it and being so impressed by looking at the back of the box. Big, huge character sprites, and then you play it and it's stiff and just terrible. Maybe that one. A lot of disappointing ones though. Noah on Wii has some nice words as well. But they're questions. I have two questions here. The first one is, would you like to be famous? No. Like, I even think about this, even though this will never happen for me. Like, if I had like an immense amount of subs on here, I wouldn't be able to handle it. I do well with smaller amounts. Not to say I don't want more subs, but like, thankfully, I'll never get to the point of having that many subs, like 50 and 50,000. Like, I don't think I'll ever get there. But it's like, then all of a sudden I'd be getting more comments. I know I was complaining about comments, but I'd be getting too many. And you see when people can't respond to comments, it kind of sucks because you lose a lot when you can't respond to comments because there's so many. I would still try to respond to as many as possible, though. But I mean, that's basic. Like, we're talking actual fame, like in the real world. No, I wouldn't be able to handle people like coming after me and stuff and want my picture and stuff. Like, I wouldn't be able to deal with it just because of the way I am, my anxiety and stuff. I wouldn't be able to handle it. So even on here, though, I wouldn't want it either. I've always thought that even. I was like, oh, by chance you get lucky and you get a ton of subs. Like, can I deal with that? I don't know. I don't think I would, and I wouldn't want fame regardless, like in real life, because that means more people are approaching me and stuff, and I do not want that. What little, just having, it's still even mind-boggling to me that I have so many people that enjoy my stuff on here. It's amazing and awesome, but it still is weird. It's a different age, though, So no, I would not want to be famous. And their second question is, have you ever played Minecraft and get into it? I've only watched my friends. Son used to be like, oh, check out my Minecraft thing, and I'd be like, it seems cool and stuff, but I've never gotten into it. I might have played it with him once. Like, he might have let me screw around with the game or something, but I don't. It's not something I've actually had really much of any interest. Like, I could see why people like it, but it's just, it's not something I've ever gotten into or anything like that, for sure. But thank you for your questions. No on way. Richard A. writes, they also thank you for the kind words as well. And yeah, before their question. But their question is, what age, when did you get into video games? I don't think I want to say I had an Atari 7800 before a Nintendo, but I don't think that's the case. I want to say 7800 came out before the Nintendo. I might have had like a 2600, but I can't remember. The stuff I do remember, though, is when I got my NES, and I believe I was in second grade. I've talked about this. I want to say it was second. That's when I really got into games. I remember my mom and dad got me the System, Jaws, and Super Mario Brothers, and I thought it was amazing. I was like, this is incredible. That's when I first really got into video games. I'd say it was 7 years old. I had that, and I had a ton of NES games, man. God, I want to kind of almost collect the ones I had, because none of them are really that expensive, which is cool. But like I said in the past, I was an only child with my mom. I do have, my dad has other kids, so they're not true, I'm like, I have siblings, but I'm also an only child. It's interesting. Anybody who has half siblings. But I got so many games, I was getting everything spoiled. I'm not gonna lie. I had a lot of cool games, though, for sure. But I'd say 87, and then all through elementary school it was NES, and then I got a Genesis, Super Nintendo, and I did take a lull in 90, when I was in 11th grade. I still would play games, but I was not getting any new ones for like a year or two. I wouldn't really get any new games, and then N64 came out, and I got that, and then it was off to the races since then. But yeah, I'd say 7 years old when I really got into them. But thank you for your question, Richard A. Tim Bob asks, he's got 3 questions here. Are you looking forward to the new James Bond, Mission Impossible, or Marvel movies? Bond and Mission Impossible for sure. I like those movies. I need to catch up on some. I've not seen the last Mission Impossible. Was Fallout the last one, or was was there one after that? I saw Rogue Nation was the last one. I saw Full. Was there 2 after that? I know there's like another 2 coming. So I am interested in them. I know the Bond keeps getting delayed because they want to get that back into theaters. Whenever they, theaters are going full speed again. But I am interested. I like the Bond movies for sure. I can't even remember what it's called, but I know Daniel Craig's the last one, right? That looks pretty cool for sure. Marvel movies, I just honestly don't. Deadpool 3 is the only one I'm interested in. I don't like the Spider-Mans. They're all cool, and I can understand why people like them, but I lost interest after, God, it might have been the first Avengers. No, Winter Soldier was really cool, and then I'm like, there's too many of them. I'm like, the first Thor was really cool too, but I don't have much interest in any of them other than Deadpool. And maybe like if they make another X-Men type movie. I do like the X-Men, although that last one, Dark Phoenix, wasn't that great, and neither was it Reign Age of Apocalypse was okay. But I really like First Class and Days of Future Past and the older ones from the 2000s. I haven't seen the last Wolverine movie either, which is supposed to be awesome, but Deadpool 3 really. Spider-Man's I don't have much interest in. Ant-Man, don't care. The Thor Ragnarok's supposed to be good, and the new one's supposed to be even weirder, so maybe that one. But yeah, Bond and Mission Impossible for sure. Their second question is, will we ever see the Shady one's early days when he was first starting out? I know, pretty sure you've mentioned this before, and other people have too. I want to do that at some point. I always forget. Maybe I'll try to show him as like just being recruited or something like that at some point. I don't know for sure. Like these things I forget about a lot of these things, and then it's up to I don't mind when you guys bring them up again because then I remember. Because even when it comes to requests, I'm not writing them down anymore. So I'm gonna tell people right now, if I don't do a request, don't take it personally. I might have forgotten about it, and if you mention it again, and I'm like, oh shit, somebody did that with the shady casino dealer. I was like, oh crap, I forgot about that, and I'll do that one this week. But yeah, at some point I probably will get to that. Maybe in Shady Season 3, we'll be in Origins instead. And his third question is, what was your best subject in school? It's a good question, actually. Sure as shit wasn't math. Maybe social studies, actually. I always liked social studies and stuff. Psychology was always enjoyable, but that was more like a subclass. Social studies are that. Psychology. English was kind of fun. Science, I wasn't good at. Math, I was terrible at. I'd probably say social studies too, because you like learning about all that stuff, history and stuff like that. Because it was all in that. It was all jammed into that thing, so I probably would say that. But psychology was fun too when I took it. The kind of class I took. What do they call them? They had a name for these classes when you took sociology or psychology. I can't remember what they called them. Damn it. Oh, it's gonna annoy me because there was a specific name for these classes. If anybody knows, let me know if they still call it that. You would take, because you would choose what you wanted to take out of 5 or 6 of them. You'd take 2 of them a year. Oh man, I can't remember what they're called. Because you wouldn't take them every day. You'd have them every other day, I believe, is how it went. I can't remember though. Oh man, that's gonna get me. Anyway though, I'd say social studies, but thank you, Tim Bob, for the questions. Thank you for the kind words here, and Manju69 as well. But his question is, what is your all-time favorite sports game? It's NHL 94 for the Genesis. It was also on the Super Nintendo, but it wasn't as good. That game was... I still play it. Me and my friends would still play it to this day. I need to get a copy of it, actually, from the East End Gaming. I saw they had a good price on it. I need to pick it up again, because it's awesome. It introduced the one-timer, which was sick. That was a game changer for those NHLs. I like a lot of sports games, though, from back then. The Lakers vs. Celtics series, Bulls vs. Blazers, Bulls vs. Lakers. The Tecmo Super Bowl games are amazing. I could argue those two. They're that good. The Maddens were decent. NBA Showdown, the early NBA Lives I really liked. And the other NHL games I liked as well, but 94 was the one I really, really love. Still to this day love it. That's my favorite sport game. In terms of recent sport games, it'd probably be NFL 2K5. That game is fucking amazing too. But definitely NHL Rewind, and I played that on the Game Pass because I added that as like a bonus to the new NHL game. And I was playing that because it has the updated rosters, but it's in the vein of NHL 94, so I played through the playoffs of that. I think I had mentioned that, so yeah. It's absolutely NHL 94 without a doubt, but there's a lot of other ones. Like, I say without a doubt, but I could make an argument for like a Tecmo Super Bowl on the Genesis and Super Nintendo as well. Oh man, I love the sport games back then. That's why I collect them now, or I'm picking them up because they're so good. Oh man, they're so good. There seems some really good baseball ones as well, but I'm not super into baseball. Even like FIFA Soccer on the Genesis, we used to play the hell out of too. Man, that was good. Oh, I need to get that again. I still have the case of manual, but I don't have the game anymore. But thank you for your question, Manju69. It's definitely NHL 94. Fuck it, it is NHL 94. Sam Robots didn't have a question. They just they want to see a doctor, guide and counselor role play, which I will do at some point. I've done therapist before. Maybe I'll do another therapist one. Jake Rooker did not have a thing, but once again, thank you for the kind words and stuff as well from both of you guys there. Okay, Joe Dirt here asks, what's the craziest thing I did in high school? I didn't do a lot of crazy stuff in high school. I guess, there was something back in the day, but I was part of, but I'm not going to bring that up. It wasn't like anything super messed up, but it wasn't like some kind of serious crime committed or anything like that. I remember pissing on a school once drunk in broad daylight. That was kind of stupid. I guess it wasn't that crazy. I'm trying to think. A lot of it involved drugs or alcohol. This isn't really crazy, but it was funny. I wasn't tripping out at this point, but we were all in the garage. It was like 5 of my other friends, and they were tripping out, I believe, on maybe it was shrooms. I don't think it was acid. I just got up. I think we had the TV on, or we were just fucking hanging out talking. And there was a pickaxe in the garage, and we had plastic chairs, and there was one empty plastic chair. I just got up. I was not tripping out. I got up, grabbed the pickaxe, and just destroyed the plastic chair. My friends were like, "Oh my god, what the hell?" They're bugging out. Then they started laughing their asses off. They still talk about it to this day. We used to play a knife game in high school too, where we threw a knife between our feet and stuff. That was kind of dangerous. I'm trying to think of like high school in terms of like doing things in school. That was crazy. Used to get high on school property all the time, but that wasn't an issue back then. Now it would be because there's cameras everywhere. I mean, those are just some stories. I guess I can throw some stories in there. I don't want to say that they're crazy. The pissing on school was kind of crazy and stupid because it's broad daylight. A lot of it was like we hung out in the field and did a lot of stupid stuff back there. We never got in trouble. Some stuff involving fireworks. But I never did anything like overly crazy that would have like landed me in jail for years, or not even jail, like juvenile hall or anything like that. I did nothing like that nuts. So I guess maybe the piss on school, or just I'm drunk in public was a lot, but a lot of people do that right when they're kids. I'd say egging house on Halloween, but I didn't even like doing that. I was like, why are we doing this? Yeah, I know it's not that crazy, but some of those things were fun and stuff. But thank you, Joe Dirt, for your question. I'm trying to think too. If I ever come up with another thing, if something pops in my head, I will bring it up in a ramble video, and I'll mention you as well. Alright, here's All Day GJ. They also have some kind words at the end. But they have 2 questions. The first one is, what's some of your favorite video game memories? Beating a super hard boss, at night you stayed up playing a new game, etc. Video game memories, I will say, I've talked about this when I first got my N64. And this wasn't beating a boss or anything like that. first had the TVs where you'd have the video, I guess composite cables, audio video cables, and we never had that at that point. So me and my mom hook up the system, we plug it into those things, and I can hear Super Mario 64, but I can't see it. I'm like, what the hell? We're both like, what the fuck? Because we never had a TV like this at this point. And then we called like a hotline, and we're like, oh, and the guy's like, it wasn't like, you idiots. He was just like, oh yeah, it's a common thing with the new TVs if you've never used them. He's like, you're just going to turn the input to audio video, because I only had a TV that never had an input. You didn't have to change it to anything. So like, thank you and stuff, and then I hit it, and it shows the graphics, because Mario, little demo or whatever is running when you hit start, and me and my mom are like, holy shit, like this is amazing, it looks incredible. That was just a memory that sticks with me, and I also remember back then, we'd be getting baked, my friends got baked, I'd be like, yo, come up here and check out Mario 64, check out Wave Race 64, they'd be like, holy shit, this looks incredible. I will say, Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts beating Gruntilda was actually very satisfying as well. That pissed me off. I would stay up all night playing Oblivion. I mentioned Oblivion earlier. I would play the hell out of that game. There was definitely some nights playing that game. I've done some all-nighters with games before. Dragon Age Origins, I did it once or twice. Back in the day, some of the Mario Bros, for sure. Because they didn't have saves, so you'd have to play as long as possible unless you left the system on overnight. But stuff like that, for sure. Those are some gaming memories, for sure. Playing Double Switch with Corey Haim for the Sega CD, which a limited run apparently put that out on cartridge for the Switch. I'm like, who the hell was clamoring for Double Switch? I actually have a lot of Sega CD memories, actually. I have a memory of playing my friend's older brother in Lakers for Celtics. I remember his mom's like, you gotta put out the garbage. He's like, I'm in a barn burner right here, I'm not doing it. We used to play some sick games, and I remember memories of us playing our NHL 94. Me and my friends would play NHL 94 tournaments. We had a little Stanley Cup that the winner would get. We'd play each other and stuff. That was really fun as well. But that's the first question. Luckiest thing that ever happened to you? Other than meeting my fiance, I would say I found a good chunk of money once. That was awesome. That was probably lucky in terms of luck. That was probably the luckiest thing that ever happened to me. Maybe winning like a nice Texas Hold'em tournament with my friends would take luck, because I was never, as a decent player, but like my anxiety and stuff, again, my fear of, I don't know, I never played the way I should to really excel when we were playing Hold'em all the time. Won some baseball, had a couple of nice lucky catches, I guess you can call them lucky, or maybe it was just my skill in the outfield. Baseball, but it's probably finding the money I found was awesome. That was luck. I guess that would be it, I suppose. And those there are 2 questions. Thank you, all day TJ. Next question is Ace. Let me see what I have here left. Alright, I got a decent amount left here, I think. Ace Supreme says, what's your daily routine and what's your favorite place to eat out? So that's 2 things. Depending if I work with my friend, I go in and work with him at the screen printing shop. When I'm not, I'll film videos like this, get up, eat breakfast, film videos, do some stuff for eBay, listen to eBay stuff, come up with ideas, respond to comments. I like to take a walk every day I can, nice hour and change walk. That's really the routine there. If I go into work with my friend, I just wake up, go in there, come back, and just hang out, maybe play a game or something, or watch something on YouTube. Or sometimes squeeze a video in if I'm feeling not too tired. But really get up, do some videos, respond to comments, YouTube related things, eBay related things, take a walk, then hang out with my fiance or whatever. Or maybe hang out with a friend later on at night or something like that. That's really the routine. nothing special or anything like that. Favorite place to eat out, I don't know. This place, Simsari in Massapequa, we haven't been to in a while, which is awesome. I always like going there. Cheesecake Factory is really cool. I actually mentioned that yesterday. I was like, we haven't been there in a while. I'm not big on... Actually, you know what? My favorite place, it's not in this state, but every time we're in Florida, it's in Lake Wales. If you're near that area or you're visiting down there, go to Cherry Pocket in Lake Wales. Every time we go down there now, we went there like 5 times once in like 8 days when we went down there. Fucking love Cherry Pocket. You sit out on the thing, it's right on the canal to, I think it's Lake Pierce. You see little gators swimming up. You can, if you're sitting outside, which you always do, you look down and you see the gators swimming around, and turtles. Awesome place, awesome. Just, I hate to say hole in the wall, but it has that, you know. It's not upscale, my kind of place, you know. The food's awesome, you know. Service is great, nice people and stuff. Yeah, I'd say Cherry Pocket, even though we haven't been there in a while. I can't wait to get back down to Florida at some point. Get back to that place like 5 times. It's gotta be Cherry Pocket. But A Suprema, thank you for your questions. Alright, MVP is next. He says, hope you and your fiance are doing well. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. I hope everything's well with you as well. He says, maybe mention any upcoming games that you're interested in. He's interested in Biomutant. I know you play like some kind of like almost cat-looking thing, right? I've seen some stuff for that. It does look pretty cool. Far Cry 6 I'm interested in. The new Dark Pictures game, anthology game, I'm going to be interested in. I like those other 2 so far. It's probably Resident Evil Village is the one I'm really pumped for. Like, I can't wait to get that. I'm so glad it's going to be on Xbox One, PS4. Because I want to play like that. Play that game I'm pumped for. Other than that, not a ton of newer games, because I'm really playing the older stuff and enjoying the shit out of the older games. Which is kind of cool. It brings back the memories and the enjoyment, especially games I never played back then. But Resident Evil Village is number 1, and Far Cry 6 is up there as well. Biomutant, I need to watch more trailers on and stuff, gameplay vids of. Is there anything else? Oh, and the Dark Pictures anthology. Some stuff on the Switch. That Famicom Detective Club looks really cool as well. That's piqued my interest as well. And some of the Nintendo games are out already that I want, like Bravely Default 2 and stuff like that. And Bayonetta 3, whenever the hell that comes out. I'll be interested in that for sure. But yeah, Resident Evil Village just looks so awesome. I can't wait to fucking play that. That's the number 1 for sure. And MVP, thank you for your question. AGL has 2 questions here. What is one video game that you, even though you've finished several times, you know everything about, but you just want to keep playing it again and again? That's their first question. It's Oblivion, probably, as crazy as it sounds. I've played through that game, and that's a long-ass game, 3 times. Skyrim 2, actually, I've played through 3 times. And I could see myself playing through Oblivion again. Actually, I've been thinking about it. Not right now, because I have so much to play, but Resident Evil 2, the remake, I've played through like 3 or 4 times and enjoyed the hell out of it. I could see myself playing through that again. I'm trying to think of older games. Dead to Rights on the original Xbox is one that I've played through a bunch of times and wouldn't mind playing through again. It's probably Oblivion, though. I gotta say it's Oblivion, because I could see myself playing through that like a 4th time. Because I don't play through a bunch of games too often, so 3 times for me is a lot. 2 is usually my max. Like Resident Evil 2, I've done it a bunch too. And mainly because that's a little bit of a shorter game compared to Oblivion, obviously. I'm trying to think of some other ones. I really can't. But yeah, it's got to be Oblivion for sure, because I could see myself playing through that a 4th time and putting in 100 hours into it. So I'm gonna say Oblivion. The second question is, what was the best video game you've played recently? That's Red Dead Redemption 2, without a doubt. Like, holy shit, I did the review on it, did the gameplay on it. I'll eventually play through that again too. That might end up being one of those games that I play through a bunch. God, that game was something else though. Arthur Morgan, just one of the best video game characters ever, man. Whew. So good. That is a phenomenal game, man. I love playing. Every minute of that game was amazing. For sure, so it's definitely Red Dead Redemption 2. But HEL, thank you for your questions. Oh, here's Sam Robots actually does have some questions. He had a previous comment, now he has another one. So, anyway. He has 5 questions here. First one is, who's your favorite athlete growing up? It's probably Clyde Drexler. Don Mattingly as well in the Yankees, but Clyde Drexler, when I was in like 7th grade, I really was a Trailblazer fan when I started liking him. That was the first athlete I really was like really interested in, was Clyde Drexler. You know, some Met players as well I liked back in the day, but Don Mattingly was the, you know, maybe like Dow Strawberry as well. You know, John Elway also, actually I should say John Elway as well. Elway and Drexler probably. Like even when it came to hockey, like I was into hockey, but I didn't like. There was Islanders I liked, but I didn't really like have anybody like I'd put over like a Drexler and Elway, and then Terrell Davis for a bit. That's moving on, like going on a little later, but Elway and Drexler for sure. Sean Kemp's another one I really liked. I'd say Drexler and Elway for sure. Elway's who got me into football, and Drexler's kind of who got me into basketball. The second one was the most fun video to record. There's a lot, to be honest with you. I like doing some of the shady videos for sure. Are super fun to make. The Come True and Jerk ones are kind of funny too, because you can just act like a jackass. I like being silly in the videos, so like, you know, the shady doctor ones and stuff where you're just using props, stupid props to come up with stuff is fun. Fun to make. Yeah, I'd say, maybe those. It's gotta be a shady video for sure. I always enjoyed it. That Junkyard roleplay was good. And even the Bad Date one I did back in the day was good. I think that was a request. That was really fun to make. I like making most of them, to be honest with you. I never dread making a video or anything. Some I do enjoy making than others. Usually I can kind of act goofy and stupid. It's kind of the ones that I like the best. Third question is, how did you meet your fiance? If you and her are comfortable disclosing that, I'm not at all. We met on OkCupid, the dating website. You know, we went back and forth through messages, and we eventually had our first met up at Dave & Buster's. And she thought I didn't like her because I was not really making a lot of eye contact because of my anxiety and stuff. And then she was surprised I asked her for a second date. I could throw her under the bus here, but I won't. Maybe at another point. Our second date, I was like, "How you want to take a walk in this nice park in Belmore?" And we did that. I won't tell you. You know, not what she thought of that, but what she brought with her for that. I can kind of figure out, but I think she thought, you know, I'm not gonna say what she brought. She thought I was gonna like. I think she watches too many horror movies and stuff, but and we just met off of OkCupid. No crazy story. That's how I was meeting a lot of people because of anxiety and stuff. I would talk to people on those websites, and she was the one that I met and fell in love with. So it's OkCupid. There's no like crazy story about it or anything like that. Fourth question is, what was your dream job growing up? So it's similar to the other one, but my dream job growing up was probably, I want to say like athlete, but I wanted to be a cop for a while because my mom was one. But I never really like, it's kind of a problem too. I never had like that dream job. Growing up, I always wanted to like, because my mom was a cop, I was like, oh, cop. And then it was like a baseball player for a while because I played a lot of baseball growing up. But like I said, I can't really answer that one too crazily because I don't even know if I looked at them as dream jobs, to be honest with you. It was the profession I would choose at that point. Like, I don't know if I actually had any dream jobs, which is, I guess, a little bit sad for sure. And their fifth question is, who do you think will win the finals or the Stanley Cup? I guess that's it, obviously this year. NBA, I don't know. The Lakers will probably do well again. They have a good chance of winning it. Maybe the Clippers. I'd like to see Portland do it, but Portland's so goddamn inconsistent. They'll roll off 6 and then drop 4 in a row. McCollum's coming back, though, soon as he was hurt, so maybe. I'd like to see them win. Golden State, you never know. They could bounce back. Obviously, Nets are stacked with Harden, Irving, and Durant, so they could make a move too. Maybe the Lakers or the Nets, I don't really know. NHL's tough one too. I want to see the Islanders do it. That's who I want to win. So who do I think will win? I'm going to say Islanders, but that's because they're my team and they are doing well. I mean, I don't know. Like, NHL's so crazy because it could be anybody in the NHL. It could always be anybody in the NHL. Basketball, you always kind of know it's like 3 or 4 teams got a shot, and they're the ones that win it. It's kind of annoying. Hockey, it could be anybody. Teams kind of. I mean, you do get consistency in hockey a little bit, but you got Blackhawks, Kings winning it, Lightning winning it, Capitals winning it, Blues winning it. Bruins winning it, Penguins winning it. Like, teams will win more than one, but like it's very spread. It's more spread, more parity. I want to see the Islanders win. I think they can win. Honestly, maybe people think I'm crazy, but they do got the team. And they got the coaching, which is key. And they got the goaltending, which helps them. It could be the Bruins. It could be the Lightning again. I would say the Maple Leafs, but I don't know about the Maple Leafs. They're playing well, but you just don't know with them. And that, I think, if anybody likes the Maple Leafs, I think you might think you're probably nervous because they haven't won so long, and all of a sudden they fall apart in the playoffs or something. But they're doing really well also. Yeah, I don't know. I want the Islanders to win. I will say that, though, and I think they can. But anybody can win in the NHL. But Sam Roberts, thank you for your questions. Okay, Excel. I don't know if it's supposed to be Excel Desert. What caused you or made you interested in doing ASMR for people on YouTube? I think I've talked about this in the past, but I was looking for a video game channel, and the person did ASMR too, I guess, and it came up. It was secret ASMR. I'm like, what the hell is this? I checked it out. I'm like, there's like a thing for this, because I get the feelings people get, which they call ASMR, but I never knew it was ASMR. I was like, really? There's a whole dedicated thing for this, and I got immediately interested. I watched a bunch of videos by people. I got immediately interested. And I'm like, I'm going to give this a shot. And I think I gave it a shot like a week later, because I was already used to YouTube from video game videos, so I wasn't nervous about making videos. But like I said earlier, I did feel it was weird at first to get used to making these kind of videos and role plays and stuff. But that's how I got into it. I just was looking for a video game video, and the same person had a ASMR channel, which they don't put videos up on anymore. And I went down the rabbit hole, watched a bunch, and I'm like, I want to try this as well. I like this. I found what I like in terms of like that feeling and stuff. And you open up a whole world of it, and you do all your crazy vids, and it gives you a chance to be creative and stuff. But and I like making them. And I like when people say, they calm anxiety and help you relax. That's so rewarding. That's like the most rewarding thing of all. So yeah, that's what got me into it for sure. Was finding that channel and then going down the rabbit hole kind of. But Exo Desert, thank you for your question. What do I got left here? Alright, we're almost done here. I'm feeling it, and I want to go get my water. Next question is from Joel. I'm going to say this name wrong. Razbajak. Oh god, I probably butchered that. I apologize. They have 5 questions. Will we see your girlfriend with you in front of the camera? It's the first one. I don't know. Maybe someday. I don't know how comfortable she is with that. She had no problem being off camera playing the game and talking, but I don't know how she'd feel about being on it. So I'm not going to push her to do it. I've heard, I've gotten this recently from other people as well. If she'll be on it, but I don't know. I would never kind of pressure her to do it. If one day she feels like doing it, we'll do a video together and just chat or whatever. What happened to the house where you were filming? Did you sell it? No, it will be up for sale too soon. I moved out of there. My aunt's still there. And that will be sold this year. Probably would have been last year, but this shit happened, with the pandemic. But, no, I moved out. Me and my fiance moved into this apartment here in Islip. I do go back still to help my aunt with stuff and get rid of some of the stuff we have left in the house. To move it out. I won't get into all the story behind, like, the house and stuff more. But, it will be sold this year, and my aunt will go down to Florida, because she has a house down there. But yeah, I mean, I still go back and try to film videos. I filmed that Fallout video in there recently as well, but no, that's just, we just moved out. But I still do go back to help and stuff. Third question is, what happened to the other cats in your house? They're still with my aunt, and they will be going down to Florida with my aunt as well when she ends up in Florida, so they're still there. And I go see them as well when I go to visit the house and help out. And Natasha is here, but Boris, Luna, Scarlett, Savannah, and Bella are all still there at the house. Nothing bad happened or anything, they're still fine. The fourth one is not a question, but a request. In my opinion, the best video you make is word search. Oh, they want to see. I can try to push a 20-minute word search. It just depends on how much. It'll probably be about 18 minute. Oh my god, I'm starting to fuck up my. It'll probably be 18 minutes, honestly, because I don't know how much. The phone doesn't have a ton of like space in it for videos. I usually can push about 18 minutes longest, but maybe I'll try to go 20, and if it cuts off before, whatever. But yeah, I can push my next one. I'll try to push to at least 18 minutes for sure, and try to get it to 20. And their fifth one is, have you ever considered editing clips? Not really. Like a video like this, if I got interrupted, I'd probably have to consider editing the clips. It's not my forte, although I'm sure it's easy enough to edit things, but that's never been my thing. Even, I think back in the day on my old video game channel, I edited one video, but I cut it out. Like, I cut the end off because something happened. That was like the majority of my editing. My stuff, like I said, it's very just, I hate to say low quality, but yeah, in terms of editing, there's no editing, so. And that's just me off the cuff. When I do my role plays, I'm just off the cuff. You know what? Everything's coming out of my head. There's no script or anything. I'm not going to edit anything. Maybe one day. I don't know, but it's just, I don't know. I like kind of just throwing on the camera and doing this stuff, but maybe someday, I don't know. But that's their questions. Thank you again, Joel. I'm going to say Joel. Thank you for that. If that is your last name, I don't want to butcher it again. So thank you for your questions. Gavin Robinson asks, what was the best concert you ever went to? It was either Faith No More in Brooklyn, Iron Maiden. I saw Iron Maiden in 2000 when they got back together, when they made Brave New World, when Bruce Dickinson came back to the band, I should say, in 2000. At the Garden. That was a fucking amazing show. Hell of a show, man. They were on point. They were tight. That was great. Faith No More was amazing as well. Megadeth in 97 at the Hammerstein Ballroom right after Cryptic Writings was also freaking incredible. That set list was incredible. They opened up with Wake Up Dead, Peace Cells, they played Hangar 18, Reckoning Day, Angry Again. God, that was a great show. And I really like Cryptic Writings as an album. Some people don't. I think that album's awesome. They played She-Wolf off of that, I believe. Almost Honest, I think Mastermind. They played Sweating Bullets, Symphony of Destruction. I want to say Tulamone was the other song they played off of Euthanasia. That and Reckoning Day. They played Peace Cells and Wake Up Dead off Peace Cells. I don't know if they played anything off of So Far, So Good, So What. They must have. Hook and Mouth, I think they might have played. Did they play anything off their first album? I don't think they did. Killing Is My Business, I don't think they played anything off that. They might have, I can't remember. But that was a hell of a fucking concert. That one was awesome. That, the Faith No More, Maiden are probably the top three. They were so good. I mean, there's a lot of good concerts I've been to, though. Metallica, I saw at the Meadowlands. That was really good. Actually, I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the Metallica cover show. They only did this like 2 shows. I remember we waited online for hours. Me and my friends got like a bunch. I ended up getting like 10 of the tickets. There was 6 of us. There's like 20 people online, and the first 6 were able to get 2 tickets each. 5 of us were the first out of the first 6. That show was amazing. There was a band that came out first that just played Metallica songs. They were a cover band for Metallica, and then Metallica came out and only did their covers. It was awesome shows in Roseland Ballroom. It was fucking amazing. Those 4 for sure. I don't know which one I'd put first. That Megadeth one was awesome, but so was Maiden. Any one of those 4 could be the ones. The Eagles I saw in 96. That was amazing too. Helmet, actually, I mean, the Helmet show I saw in Revolution in Amityville was amazing too. And then we saw him again in the city, and I think it was the Bowery Ballroom. That was awesome too. I've seen a lot of good shows. But Gavin Robinson, thank you for your question. Next is my ASMR addiction asks, what are the pros and cons of living on Long Island? They might know them as well, but for me personally, since I don't drive, a big pro of Long Island is public transportation is everywhere. There's buses, and you have the LIRR. So if you live here and you don't drive, it's awesome. So whenever I need to go out to Massapequa, hop on the train, just walk 12 minutes to the train here. Gotta transfer Babylon, but whatever, you just hop off in Babylon, get right back on. Boom, Massapequa. And if I work with my friend, I take the train to Massapequa, hop on the bus that's right there, and go up to the job in Nixville. It's a plus if you don't drive, and there's taxis and stuff everywhere as well, and this day and age, Ubers all over the place as well, but, trains and buses are cheaper transportation in Long Island. There's plenty of them, which is a huge pro. Another pro is there's plenty of things here. You're never, even if you live all the way out past Riverhead, you can still get back to Riverhead fairly quickly, and there's still a good amount of stuff all the way out there. But there's always something. There's a ton of retro game stores, which is awesome for someone like me. There's a few malls. There's always something to do. There's a bunch of movie theaters, you got Belmont, which is going to have the Islander soon, and horse racing. And nothing's too far from Long Island. Like Brooklyn and Queens are right there. They're part of Long Island, too. Don't let them tell you to say they aren't. They are attached to Long Island. They may be part of the borough of the city or whatever, but they are part of Long Island. And the city's not far if you want to do that. So pros are this, you're not far from anything, which is good. And you got the beaches right there if you're into the beaches and stuff. And there's a surprisingly amount of parks you can walk in for a place that is not too wooded. But that plays into one of the cons. It's so populated here, and for someone like me with anxiety, you're always going to be around people if you go out in public. And a lot of people on Long Island are very high-strung just because of the high prices of everything here. You could be fucked at any minute if you lose your job because it's so expensive to live here. So a lot of people are on edge. I feel like that's why there's a lot of road rage and stuff. And there's a lot of traffic if you drive, but I've been when I'm in the car with my fiance or whoever, traffic's a pain in the ass. Another negative is it's an island, so if anything happens to the bridges here, you're fucking trapped unless you get to a boat. So that kind of sucks, but that's hopefully a con that never doesn't actually happen. Cons is the overpopulation for me is tough. There's I think between Suffolk and Nassau, I think it's 3.5, 4 million people live in these two counties, and it's tighter in Nassau because it's a smaller county. Nassau is tight, so that could be a pain in the ass too. And obviously the rising, prices of everything is a fucking serious con. Even renting apartments is expensive. Houses are expensive. It can be tough from that. You got to make pretty good money or have 2 people or more living in a place. But pros, the plus is, like I said, the transportation's great. If for someone who doesn't drive, that's a serious pro. And the beaches are fun too. I like going to the beach from time to time, so it's nice to have that right there. No matter where you are on Long Island, you're going to get to a beach pretty quickly. And you have the wineries out east, which is awesome as well. So there is stuff to do here on Long Island, which is nice. Overpopulation, traffic sucks, prices suck, cost of living's a pain in the ass. And a lot of, I hate to say it, but there's a lot of good people. There's a lot of people who are jerks, and a lot of the reason is because you're high-strung. You're always on edge here. So, those are some of the pros and cons I can think of, but thank you, my ASMR addiction, for the question. Fresh Bucks is the next question. Asks, do you have kids? And if not, are you planning on having any? Do not have any, and we're probably never going to have any. My fiance is not too interested in having kids, and me, I would never say I don't want them, but the problem is, the way I am, I get so nervous over anything, even watching other people's animals. If something weird happens, I start bugging out. The stress is just too much for me. I wouldn't be able to handle it from that. In my opinion, when you have kids, you gotta be really strong mentally, and I'm not gonna say I'm not strong mentally for things, but when it comes to kids, I get too nervous, like a baby. I'd be like, why is it doing that? Oh my god, I'd be too, overbearing, and I'm sure a lot of parents are, but I personally wouldn't be able to handle it. I think I could be a decent parent, to be honest with you, but it would be too much on me mentally. I wouldn't be able to handle it. But I don't know. Go life if my mind is stronger and I'm not anxious-ridden mess. Well, I don't know. But Fresh Bugs, thank you for your question. And the last two here are from one-time graduate. They actually came in, I think, last night, so I'm glad I did this today. The first one is, are you a fan of the Zombies mode from the Call of Duty Black Ops series? Honestly, I've never played. I think I played it once briefly in, was it in the first Black Ops? I remember I was trapped in like a, the level was, I think it was like a news station type of place, and they were coming in from everywhere. It seemed kind of cool, but that was the only time I played it, so I can't really answer that question. A lot of people do seem to like it, though, for sure. And the next one is, what is your favorite ice cream flavor? It's probably cookies and cream. I really like a lot. I like quite a few. Cookies and cream is really good. Regular vanilla I like. My fiance hates vanilla. She likes chocolate. I'm a vanilla person. Cookies and cream is awesome. Even like a cookie dough flavor is good, but cookies and cream I've always liked for a long time. And what is it, the Neapolitan one with the, was it strawberry chocolate and vanilla is really good as well. Speaking of which, the Ralph Italian Ices place open up next Friday, so that's cool. We were looking at a place, anybody from Long Island, if you've ever been to Milky Way's ice cream and cereal bar, we were looking at that last night. I saw a thing on Instagram, I was like, oh shit, this looks awesome. Maybe if anyone's been there, let me know how it is, because it looks really good. But I would say cookies and cream for sure is probably the one that I would go back to the most. But I can eat pretty much almost any ice cream I do like. So, for sure. Cookies and cream, for sure. But thank you one time, graduate, for your questions. And overall, thanks everybody for the questions. And thanks to other people who just left some kind comments. And the people who also left kind words as well. It does mean a lot. For sure. I am going to get some water now, for sure. Just an hour and 15 minutes here, but I'm glad I got a lot of questions from people, so that's always fun. But yeah, thanks again, everybody, and thanks everybody for checking this out, and have a good day.